Firefighter Regina Wilson to sing our national anthem.
Detail and salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, two.
Please remain standing for the invocation by FDNY Chaplain Rabbi Joseph Potasnik.
Detail, uncover.
Thank you.
Some years ago, I officiated the funeral of a friend. His mother came over to me shortly before the service and said, "Rabbi, God gave my son so much. Why didn't he give him more years?" I had no answer for her. I have no answer today. There is an inscription on the grave of a young person that says, "The golden bowl is broken, but at least it was golden." We come here today with the pain of losing him, but we're also here with the privilege of loving him. Some people do nothing in this world and ask, "What can I do?" Some people do so much in this world, including giving their lives, and ask, "What else could I do?" That same mother said to me, "I think of what I've had, and I think of what I've lost, and I realize that I have still been very blessed." We come here today and ask that Lieutenant Michael Davidson's memory be a source of blessing for the family he loved so much, for the FDNY family he loved so much, and for all of us who loved him. Amen.
Detail, Rico.
Will everyone please be seated? Good morning. My name is Robert Allen. I'm the captain of Engine 69. And I want to thank everyone for coming to today's plaque dedication ceremony honoring our fallen member, Lieutenant Michael R. Davidson, lost to us on March 23rd, 2018. I would like to now introduce the members of our dais. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Fire Commissioner Daniel Nigro. Chief of Department John Sudnick. First Deputy Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh. Now please hold your applause until I finish announcing the remaining members of the dais. Chief of Staff Elizabeth Cassio. Chief of Fire Operations Thomas Richardson. Chief of Training, Anthony DeVita Jr., Bronx Borough Commander, Joseph Woznicka, Brooklyn Borough Commander, Wayne Cartwright, Queens Borough Commander, Edward Baggett, Assistant Chief of EMS Operations, Fred Villani, Deputy Assistant Chief of Operations, Richard Blattis, Deputy Assistant Chief of Operations, Christopher Boyle, Chief of Special Operations, John Esposito, Deputy Assistant Chief of Fire Prevention, Joseph Jordan, Chief of Counterterrorism and Preparedness, Thomas Correo, Deputy Manhattan Borough Commander, Michael Galla, Chief of EMS Academy, Lillian Bonsior, Chief of Safety, Michael Myers, Division 6 Commander, James Dunleavy, Battalion 16 Commander, Christopher Lennon, Rabbi Joseph Potasnik, FDNY Chaplain, President of the Uniformed Firefighters Association, Gerald Fitzgerald, President of the Uniformed Fire Officers Association, Jake Lamunda, UFA Manhattan Trustee, Vincent Speciale, Captain of Ladder 28, John Gormley, Assistant Commissioner Evelyn Tesserero, we would also like to give a warm welcome to United States Congress member Adriano Espaillat. Also, Chief Operating Officer of the Silver Shield Foundation, Casey Fuchs. We are especially honored to have the family of Lieutenant Michael R. Davidson here today, his wife Eileen, his daughters Brooke, Amy, and Emily, and his son Joseph. Michael's father, retired firefighter Robert Davidson of Ladder 28. His mother, Paula. His brother, firefighter Eric Davidson of Engine 88. His father and mother-in-law, Pat and Judy Flood. His uncle and aunt, retired firefighter Thomas Grimshaw from Ladder 28, and his wife Elaine. And his brother-in-laws Matthew and Ryan. As well as the other members of the close and personal family and friends. I am honored to introduce our first speaker, Mayor Bill de Blasio.
We're gathered here at the quarters of Battalion 16, Engine 69, Ladder 28, to honor one of your own. Not just a good man, not just a brave man, but an exemplary man. Someone that everyone could only hope to serve as well as and be as good as. Lieutenant Michael Davidson died as he lived, as a hero devoted with every fiber in his being to helping others, to protecting others, to protecting this city he loved. Everyone gathered here has a solemn task of carrying on his memory. We do that today with a full heart I want to thank everyone who's a part of this ceremony, and a special thanks, acknowledgement of the leadership of the FDNY, Commissioner Dan Nigro, First Deputy Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh, and Chief of Department John Sudnick for their leadership of this great department. It means a lot to us that Congressman Adriano Espaillat has joined us, and I thank you, Congressman, and I thank the union leadership that is here as well, that represents all the men and women of this great department. We, all of us, have come to know this good family. And we never want to know a family through tragedy. But when we come to know them, we see so much. We see a family that made possible all the good in Michael, all that Michael did for all of us. To his wife, Eileen, thank you for sharing him with us. To his parents, Robert and Paula, thank you for raising a hero. And I want to say it as a parent, it's not easy to raise a child the right way with the right values. But both of you raised a hero. You raised a good man. You raised a man who did so much for others. You did it the right way. Thank you. To his brother, Firefighter Eric Davidson, thank you for all you do for this city, all you do for the people that you protect. I know you're carrying on this great tradition, and we are so proud of you. This family represents something so good that's a part of the FDNY's history as well. A tradition passed from father to son. Now we see a tradition passed to daughters as well. His father, Robert, served 26 years, most of them right here. Eric has been over 11 years now at Engine 88 in the Bronx. A family going above and beyond for all of us. That tradition is something that bonds this city together. Without those families that loved this department and believed in it, without that tradition, we would not be where we are today. The courage it takes to be a member of New York's bravest is embodied in Michael's life. If you've heard the stories, you know this was a man who wanted a position of leadership, who wanted to take on the tough jobs, who saw it not only as a matter of honor, but as a matter of duty. He was not one to shy from that which was most dangerous. He believed he was called to it. That kind of courage is rare. That's part of why the members of the FDNY feel this loss so deeply and so personally. And I want to extend my condolences to each and every member of the FDNY, to everyone who ever served in the FDNY. I always tell people that you are feeling this loss just as deeply as any blood family member. And we need to thank you and understand the feelings you're going through and offer our condolences to each and every one of you. But we can say about Mike, 37 years of life, but he packed so much life, so much courage, so much goodness into those 37 years. There are many, many people who live a lot longer, will never approach the achievements that Mike did in those 37 years. To his children, to Brooke and Joseph and Emily and Amy, you're all very young, and it will take quite a while to understand. But I'll offer you some words from my own experience. My dad wore a uniform, he served proudly, and we lost him way too young as well. But one thing you know, when you know your father was a hero, you will feel that throughout your life. It will uplift you and strengthen you. You'll never have to wonder. Every day, you'll know your dad is there watching for you, and a hero's blood runs through your veins as well. Today, we make Mike a permanent part of the history of this city. And never underestimate the power of that act. We are saying that his name must be remembered. That to understand this place, you also have to know who he was. To see how good this place could be, you have to know the story of Mike Davidson. And the plaque also remind us, no matter what we face, to try and live as he lived, bravely and honorably. On behalf of all 8.6 million New Yorkers, God bless you all, and God bless the memory of Michael Davidson.
Thank you, Mayor de Blasio. Next, we will hear from Fire Commissioner Daniel Nigro.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor, for those kind words. A year ago today, our department was already reeling from the loss of two of our members who were killed overseas while serving our country in Iraq. And then that night, we were struck with the tragic news that an incredible young man, Michael Davidson, made the supreme sacrifice while operating at a fire here in Harlem. Mike was a natural-born firefighter and a tremendous nozzle man. He spent every day of his 15 years in 69 Engine protecting this neighborhood, responding day and night to every call for help that came his way. Brave, physically fit, dedicated to duty, committed to the mission of saving others, Mike exemplified what it means to be a New York City firefighter. From his first days as a probie here, he demonstrated a toughness and a leadership that was well beyond his years. Leadership is not only about your rank, it's about how you handle yourself, how hard you work, and how much effort you put into setting a strong example for others to follow. He aggressively fought fires, always helping to lead his company forward, protecting life and property. Over time, he became the one that others could look up to, taking probies and junior members aside on every tour to train them and make them better. Mike was truly special, and it's evident he was beloved by all of you. We've all seen how this house has rallied around Mike's family, and all of you have done for them in this past year. You have honored his memory through your efforts, and that continues today with the plaque we dedicate. We're ensuring that Mike's name, all he stood for, and his incredible legacy of service will forever be a part of this firehouse, this community, and our entire department. To Eileen, to Robert, Paula, and Eric, we'll never forget Mike. His 4 beautiful children will know that their father was an extraordinary man, and he was a hero to all of us. We will honor him, we will remember all the good he did, and we will watch over his family always. God bless Michael Davidson. God bless the entire Davidson family, and may God continue to bless the FDNY.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we will hear from Chief of Department John Sudnick.
Good morning, and welcome once again to Eileen, Bob, Eric, and Paula, and the entire Davidson family. I want to thank you all for being with us today for this ceremony to remember Mike. I'd also like to thank the officers and members of Engine 6-9, Ladder 2-8, and Battalion 1-6 for your efforts getting the firehouse ready for today, and for your support of the Davidson family over this past year. On these solemn occasions, when our department witnesses the outpouring of love and support for our families and for each other, it renews our sense of commitment and our dedication to our mission. As a stalwart member of the firehouse, the Harlem Hilton, Lieutenant Mike Davidson was both loved and revered. He was well respected throughout the entire battalion and will always be remembered as a high-caliber individual and a tremendous firefighter with limitless potential. There are so many adjectives that can be used in the same sentence with Mike Davidson: strong, determined, unwavering, courageous. But perhaps the best way to describe him around here would be that he was the consummate professional, and the ultimate nozzle man. Mike didn't simply know his job, he lived it, and he lived it to perfection. He always worked hard to improve and to be the best. Every tour he came to work, he wanted to be a better firefighter, not just for himself, but to make all those around him better as well. He knew that being the best was a long-standing tradition in this firehouse, and without question, he lived up to that legacy. I'm absolutely certain that Captain Allen, and for that matter, each and every captain on this job, would say they would take 25 Mike Davidsons in their company. I know I would, in a heartbeat. This has been a very painful year for everyone, and I understand today's ceremony may not make things any easier. Eileen, Paula, Bob, and Eric, our entire department is so grateful that you are here with us today. We hope that you and your family may find some solace in our remembrance. Please know that these plaque dedications are so important and have so much significance for our FD&Y family. Today's ceremony is how we pay tribute to our fallen brother and how we make certain that his dedication and his sacrifice, and above all, his service, lives on forever. We acknowledge once more that his chosen profession and his calling in life was a noble one. It reminds us all just how dangerous our job really is, and it reaffirms our own commitment to this department. It tells us that Mike not only set an example, but a standard of excellence for us all to follow. This plaque will remain on the wall of this firehouse forever as a lasting tribute to our brother firefighter who gave his life so others may live. Above all else, it will serve as a permanent memorial and a constant reminder that his memory will always be with us and his family will always be with us. It is our promise to Mike and is our vow to you that he will never be forgotten. I would once again like to thank all the members of the Harlem Hilton for their efforts, and I would especially like to thank the Davidson family for joining us to pay tribute to Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Sudnick. Next, we will hear from UFA President Gerard Fitzgerald to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. Hello to all. First, I want to commend the Harlem Hilton for the members for being the ultimate example in our department of how to rally around each other, the family. You're a great example to all of us throughout the department on how to handle such a tragedy that happened a year ago. And from the day after to now, you guys have been incredible. The house looks great, everything perfect. So I would like to first thank Jake Lamunda of the Uniformed Firefighters Officers Association for allowing me the privilege to just say a few words about Lieutenant Michael Davidson. Michael was posthumously promoted to lieutenant and is deserving of nothing less than the highest respect and honor from the Fire Department of the City of New York. Today, our hearts are filled with sorrow as we remember a brave firefighter, an outstanding man, a loving husband, a caring father of four who we lost in the line of duty a year ago. Mike Davidson was the epitome of what it means to be a firefighter. Mike was a legacy. His whole life, he knew the bravery, the courage, and the honor that goes along with this job, handed down from his dad. And every single day in his 15 years on the department, he emulated that bravery, courage, and honor that his father displayed in the same firehouse for many, many years. And just as Michael did, his brother Eric, one of our delegates, still does as a member of Engine 88 in the Bronx. Mike was a natural, guiding his team into danger to save lives and property of the city of New York, a true leader by example, and someone who his fellow firefighters definitely respected. And while Mike is no longer here with us, the plaque we dedicate today will be a symbol of his legacy that will be remembered by his family, his friends, his fellow firefighters, and everyone that enters this firehouse in the future. I have had the honor of meeting and speaking with Mike's wife, Eileen, his children, his father, his mother, his brother in the years since that tragic day. When I learned more about the terrific father, brother, son, and husband that he was outside of the department, it is clear that the only thing that he held higher regard than the duty to his fellow firefighters in this city was the love of his family. So when we bow our heads in prayer at night and remember Lieutenant Michael Davidson, please remember that he did not die in vain. As his example, the model family man, the go-to guy to get things done, and brave, courageous firefighter is and always will be what every firefighter lives and strives to be. Thank you very much. I would like to invite Jake up to present a plaque to Eileen.
Good morning. On behalf of the UFOA Executive Board and the members that we represent, it's an honor and privilege to present this plaque to Eileen and the Davidson family. I'd like to read the inscription. In loving memory of Lieutenant Michael R. Davidson, Engine Company 69, in everlasting tribute for the ultimate act of service from the Uniformed Fire Officers Association.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Gerard. Here we are a year later. This year went by so quickly, but yet it just seemed to go so slow. I'm going to be brief. I just want to thank the Davidson family for their courage and grace over the last year. Every memorial, every service, every event that we went to, our eyes were on them, and their strength helped us go on. And thank you, and God bless you. We will now hear from Lieutenant Michael Davidson's good friend, Peter Driscoll of Engine 69, to say a few words.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank everyone for coming today. I especially want to thank Eileen, Brooke, Joe, Emily, and Amy, the Davidson family, Bobby, Paula, and Eric, the Flood family, and the rest of Mike's family and friends. I also want to thank Mayor de Blasio, Commissioner Nigo, Chief Sudnick, the members of the FDNY, especially the 16th Battalion. Your friendship and support this past year has been amazing. To have friends is a wonderful thing. And 1 year ago, we lost the best friend a person could ask for. Today, we honor Mike with a plaque. We honor an amazing firefighter. And Mike was an amazing firefighter. He was one of the best. Mike was the kind of firefighter I aspired to be. I will always remember how great he was at this job. When new guys come into the firehouse and they look at the plaque and they ask, "Who was Mike Davidson?" I will tell them he was the best fireman I ever knew. As much as we all remember Mike for being an incredible fireman, it is my friend Mike that I will remember most. When I think about Mike, and I think about him every day, I think about Mike as my friend, and it always makes me smile. In a time now when everyone has Facebook friends and Instagram friends and Twitter followers, Mike was a real friend. The kind of friend who would help organize a benefit to raise money for your daughter's medical bills. The kind of friend who would visit you in the hospital and make fun of you just to embarrass you in front of a pretty nurse. The kind of friend who would go to a diner in Bayside and share the ketchup, even as Mike used to like to say, "I don't even like ketchup." Mike was a friend from the moment you met him. I can picture Mike at a picnic or a barbecue, with his shirt off, of course, and he'd meet someone for the first time, and that person, being so impressed with him, would turn to ask him his name, but he wouldn't have to, because there it would be in perfect Old English. I was talking to Lieutenant Quinn the other day, and he told me about how when he was a newly assigned officer to 69, Mike invited him and his family to his home to make him feel welcome in his new company. Not everybody would go out of their way to make a new officer feel welcome, but Mike wasn't just anyone. He was that kind of friend. And it wasn't just officers. Mike would teach a new probie, who had already become his friend, that every one person can make the world a better place just by being friends to the kids. When I was told I would get the honor of speaking about Mike today, I immediately started to think about what I wanted to say. When I decided I wanted to speak about my friend Mike, rather than Mike the hero fireman, I began to second-guess my decision. I started to think people wouldn't be impressed by talk of a friend, that they had lots of friends. Well, I don't, and I will forever be grateful that I can count Mike as one of them. I want to finish by telling Mike's amazing kids that you will grow up and have lots of friends. And as your friends come and go, I want you to always remember that you will always have a friend in me and a friend in this firehouse. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. We will now hear from Lieutenant Michael Davidson's wife, Eileen Davidson, to say a few words.
I need you all to hang in with me. Has not been easy trying to find my voice through this last year, but I'm going to do my best. Today, as we remember Michael, as we hold him especially close in our hearts, I know that we cannot help but mourn. We mourn because our love ran so deep. We mourn because we cannot imagine how we will go on without our Michael. We mourn for all we had and all we lost. We mourn for all that should have been and now will not be. When Eric spoke to us and for us almost a year ago today, he touched every heart in New York City, and I am sure thousands beyond. He spoke to the man that Michael was and will forever be in our hearts. And he did it in a way that only a brother and a best friend could. He encouraged us to laugh. He reminded us to tell the stories. He asked us to smile. And so today I echo his words that have left their mark on me. I ask everyone here, our loved ones, our fire department family, the entire city of New York, I ask you please today to acknowledge that yes, there is mourning, but more importantly, there are beautiful memories and an incredible legacy that even Michael's passing cannot take from us. Today is a day to remember and to honor Michael the way he would want us to, in love. Michael's love and friendship extended across so many avenues and locations. He really was the best friend you could have. There was a light in this man, one that burned so bright that even if you only met him once, you remembered him. From Woodside to Astoria, to the Pokes, to Iona, to Bayside, to Rathbones, to West Hampton Beach, to Floral Park, to, as he called it, Sleazy Breezy, to Montauk, and back around again. Our memories and our time with Michael, they are such gifts. When I think of my time with Michael, I'm going to bore you here. I think back to the beginning, back to meeting him, looking into his eyes, and seeing something so special, so deep, and so very real. I knew right away that this man was meant to be in my life forever. But the circumstances under which he and I met were not your conventional love story elements. I was 21, he was 24. I was bald, weak, and 3 months into my chemotherapy treatments, trying my best to live my life despite what I was up against. And he offered me a friendship, a compassion, an understanding, and a love that was beyond measure. He would sit with me when I was too sick to move. This is true. He lovingly referred to me as Q. He would make me laugh when I wanted to cry. And he would make me feel beautiful when I was terrified to look at my own reflection. None of that was an accident. It was genuine. It was just who Michael was. He didn't treat me differently when he found out what I was going through. In fact, it brought us closer. That was just the beginning of us. And it was a testament to the way Michael was raised by my equally selfless, incredibly loving mother and father-in-law, Paula and Bobby. I know that for the two of you, with memories come deep pain. But my wish for you, what Michael would want for both of you, is to see your selflessness, your loyalty, your truth, your love, your values, and your hopes and dreams reflected in the legacy of your boy. And he bought the house, multiple at that. He took the test. He heard you, and he did it. Without the two of you, the hundreds, if not thousands of people whom Michael has so deeply influenced and touched, they would never have experienced his wisdom, his love, his friendship, his support, his love of life, or his loyalty. And so I hope that in your hearts, you know and see the gifts that you gave to Michael, he gave them right back to you, to all of us, over and over again. Michael's light, it was steeped in the traditions, the love, the moments and memories that our family will forever cherish. He truly was a man who lived for his family. As most will tell you, for a while there, when you received a phone call from Michael or me, you likely braced yourself for a pregnancy or we're moving announcement. It kind of became a running joke that every year of our marriage, we were likely doing one, if not both. And thinking back on the whirlwind that was our life for those 6 years in particular, I remember walking into the open house of our current home in the spring of 2015. For those of you doing the math, that would be house number 4, post-baby number 3. We barely got past the foyer door before we hit one another with the "this is it" look of excitement. We casually, or maybe not so casually, made our way to the second floor of the house, and Michael turned to me. With that light and excitement in his eyes. And he said, this is it. We could have everyone here for Christmas. Everyone. Birthday parties, holidays. This is it, Suddenly, the years of renovating and moving and buying and selling, you see, it just came down to this moment. It wasn't about Michael. It was for Michael, but it was never about him. It was about us, those whom he cherished above all else. And who could he possibly cherish more than his children, our 4 beautiful miracles? No matter his exhaustion or his aches and pains, God knows he had a lot of them, Michael took the PJ walks. He ruled the dance floor during our Davidson dance parties. He rolled around on the floor. He was helping parent. He was on the softball, baseball, and soccer fields. He was on the basketball court. He was at the playground. He was often up at the bakery, spoiling his babies. And to you, my sweet babies, may you always find some sense of peace, knowing that heaven needed a hero, that your daddy was called to do greater jobs in heaven than he could do here on this earth, because he was that special. He has given you the greatest example and gift of love. He has given you the greatest example of parenting, of friendship, of self-care and self-worth, of sacrifice and dedication and family. I see your daddy every day in each of you, in Brooke's fun-loving joy, in Joey's old soul logic, in Emmy's nurturing spirit, in Amy's eyes, laughter, and smile. In fact, I see Daddy in each of your smiles. I hope you will always remember Daddy's love for you. It does not end. It does not stop. It grows every day. It grows in your successes. It grows in your times of sadness. It grows in your mistakes. It grows in your achievements. He will forever believe in you. He will forever support you. Your daddy will forever be beside you. If you knew Michael, you knew what it was to feel supported. You knew what it was to truly, always, have someone next to you who had your back. Aside from Michael's lifelong friends, his men, our guys of the Hilton likely knew that best. I am so thankful for the stories, the laughs, and the moments that you have all shared with me. I always knew what an incredible leader, thinker, and doer Michael was. So it did not surprise me at all to hear that he gave you guidance, advice, and motivation, that he gave you push-up envy, laughs, falafel balls, and goji berries, that he gave you timeouts, talking tos, real estate and mortgage lectures, that he embraced the role of dressing up as Spider-Man, that he boosted neighborhood kids up onto the rig and cheered them on as they honked the horn, that he invited a father and son in to fill the boys' bike tires when they asked for the nearest gas station. None of these things surprise me. They fill me with great pride, with admiration, and a love for the compassion in our Mikey. I hope above all else, when you all think of Michael, when you continue as ordinary men to tackle such extraordinary tasks, that you will forever hold close his laugh, his painfully loud clap and cackle, and most of all, his passion, his love of life, and his love of this job. The truth is, his love of the job ran as deep as it did because of each of you. I have some final memories I'd like to share, starting with our first vacation that we ever took together. As you can imagine, we didn't get many of them. 7 days in the Caribbean, and it rained. I mean, poured for 6 of them. We had kind of given up by the last day, but lo and behold, we awoke to sunshine on our last stop, day 7 of our 7-day cruise. And we soaked it in and we laughed. At least we got one, we said. And we laid in a hammock together, smiling, carefree, and so happy. The last 10 years, I think back to our beautiful, very messy, miracle and crazy-filled whirlwind of a life together. And my God, isn't it true? The seasons of marriage, especially with young kids, they can feel like a rainstorm 6 out of 7 days a week. For us, many weeks it did. But we found our strength in one another. We held on tight. And I am thankful. I am so incredibly thankful that we worked for it. And we found it. It wasn't easy. 2017 into early 2018 was a true test of our will, our grit, and our love. We feared for our youngest, Amy, diagnosed with a rare and uncertain lung disease. Our house was suddenly filled with oxygen tanks and sleepless nights. Months later, we faced my second cancer diagnosis. But we survived. Our beautiful Amy was finally showing signs of improvement. I healed from my 2 surgeries, and I was cancer-free. We were finally in our forever home. We were ready to enjoy the life that we built together. And so we had this moment when it hit us. We literally high-fived one another in the kitchen on my last night with my husband. We did it. We made it, we said. It sounds ridiculous, but I am so eternally grateful for that celebratory high five that we shared in our kitchen that night. And yes, it snowed the next day on March 22nd, 2018. But our time together that morning for the day, despite the snow, that day was like our 7th day. It was a day of sunshine. As my gratitude for my life with Michael is boundless. So too is the list of gifts Michael has given me in my life. But perhaps the most important was the way that that man held on in the rain. The way he weathered the storm. He was the captain of our ship, the hero of our life, the anchor of my soul. Life can be so hard, so unfair. But I ask, as we leave here, and time and life and obligations take us on our own uncertain paths, I ask you to think of Michael and me, not just today, but especially in your most challenging hours, and make a promise that you will weather your storms together, anchor yourselves in one another, hold tight and high five. Never, ever give up. Revel in your sunshine when you are lucky enough to have it. And most of all, on those 6 days out of 7, find ways to dance in the rain together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eileen, for those beautiful words. We will now commence with the dedication of the plaque.
Please remove the draping. The plaque reads, dedicated to the memory of Lieutenant Michael R. Davidson, Engine Company 69, who made the supreme sacrifice while in the performance of duty, operating at Manhattan Box 551638, March 23rd, 2018.
Detail, uncover.
May the words written on this plaque be inscribed in our hearts. And Eileen, as you reminded us to hold on, may we hold on to Michael's memory May we also hold on to this moment, and with you, the Davidson family, may we hold on to one another. Amen.
Detail, Rico. Everyone, please rise. Detail, hand salute. Ready, two.
At this time, the members of the Harlem Hilton have a special presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the New York City Mayor, Fire Commissioner, the Chief of Department, and other members of the dais, I want to thank you for attending today's very special ceremony. What a terrific show of love for our fallen brother, Lieutenant Michael R. Davidson. Rest assured, none of us will ever forget him. This concludes the plaque dedication ceremony, and the members of the Harlem Hilton cordially invite everyone to join us for lunch at the American Turner Club, Clarence Avenue in Throgs Neck. And this concludes our plaque dedication. Again, thank you, and have a nice day.